Good morning. I'm Robert Perkinson from the University of Hawaii, the American Studies Department. I'm here today because I'm actually quite hopeful about public education in Hawaii. We have a new governor, a new board, partially propelled into office by the failures of their predecessors to protect Hawaii's children from the ravages of the economic collapse. We've competed successfully in the race to the top competition, so I think there's some real momentum and will to enact the structural changes that will make Hawaii education much stronger in the future. But as we embark on those reforms, we must not undermine the strengths that we have, nor lose sight of the larger purpose of education in public education, not just to prepare students to perform adequately on standardized tests, but to make the world a better place, a more robust economy, and a healthier society for our students. Now, it turns out that science, and especially math, are easier tests to measure, easier subjects to measure in tests than is social studies. But that doesn't mean social studies is any less vital. In fact, as we look forward to the next century, what many call the Asian century, a century in which the U.S. will be a knowledge economy participating in a multipolar world, it's absolutely vital that we prepare our students to have a global sensibility and a historical knowledge of how they came to be and how they can interact with the world and change it for the future. It's absolutely vital that we foster the sort of critical thinking skills that will allow them to decode the welter of information with which they are confronted on a regular basis, that will allow them to kind of think about their place in an increasingly complex society, and that will foster what has been one of the great strengths of American education over the past century, the ability to foster innovation. And that sort of innovation is what other countries that do better on standardized testing look to the U.S. system to understand. And a lot of that intangible critical thinking and precipitation of innovation comes precisely from social studies. And finally, as others have mentioned, it's absolutely vital that we have, in order to have a functioning, healthy democracy, in order to have governable societies that meet the formidable challenges of this century head on and with citizen participation make draft solutions to them, we have to have an informed public on both the mechanisms of democracy and the history and the politics that put us in the predicaments that we are in. We cannot do that without a robust, more robust civics education and social studies education in a variety of disciplines than we would have with these cuts. Hawaii has a chance, I think, a quite important chance, to be a leader in American education, not a laggard. So I would call upon the DOE to do what we ask our students to do when they submit work that's incomplete and inadequate: revise and resubmit. And I would ask the Board of Education to do the right thing, not just enact changes to help our students prepare for tests, but to make sure they keep their eye on the real ball, that education is a critical instrument to make our society a better place for a healthier democracy and a more robust economy in the future, and that means reversing this proposal. Thank you.